That is exactly what I was expecting. What is happening, guys? It's your boy TC back with another video. So we've just rounded off the last game in the UEFA Cup group stages, and it was a very, very good victory. It was a thumping victory. So as you all know, we obviously ended up winning 6-0, and it was a brilliant performance from all the players that were certainly involved. I personally don't think Callum Chambers and Rob Holding will definitely have an easier night in their career. It was a very, very easy night. I think in about 55 minutes, Borisov had only made 2 attempts at goal. Ospina had a very, very relaxed, easy night. Around about the 60th or the late 60th minute or so, the Borisov obviously started to apply a bit more pressure. They had a couple of shots on goal, but it wasn't nothing to be really worried about. So it's a very, very reassuring win. As we all know, we are certainly through into the last round of 32 within the UEFA Cup or the Europa League, and definitely we made it look easy tonight. So just to run through the team selection by Mr. Wenger this evening. In goal we had obviously Ospina, and he obviously reverted back to the back 4. In the middle we had Rob Holding and Callum Chambers. At the back we had Debussy playing at right back. Left back it was obviously Maitland-Niles, who's certainly played in that position throughout the whole competition, so he's got 6 out of 6 games in the competition itself. In the middle we had the partnership of Coquelin and Elneny. Up top we had Danny Welbeck, Theo Walcott, as well as Jack Wilshere and Oli Giroud. So just to talk about some individual performances, as usual guys, I always start from the back. So to talk about Ospina, he didn't really have much to do throughout the whole game. He didn't have many saves to make at all. If I can recall correctly, I think he made roughly no less than 4 saves throughout the whole game. So it's a very, very easy evening for him. The back 2, Callum Chambers and Rob Holding. I certainly thought that Callum Chambers looked very, very fit. He looked much sharper than he has in recent years. He looked a bit more trimmer, and he was certainly doing a lot more running, a lot more ball playing within this particular game. Obviously all his passes weren't coming off, but it looked very, very reassuring. Of course, it's only Borisov. I would have expected them, all the players, to actually perform absolutely well. But I was very, very pleased with his performance with Rob Holding. I do see that particular partnership as the partnership of the future in terms of Arsenal, in terms of our centre-backs. Obviously, we do need to get someone else in. We do have Mustafi, so I'm guessing one of those 2 guys will certainly be a starting choice centre-back if the defensive issues are obviously not addressed by bringing in any other additional players in that particular position. But overall, I was impressed with their performance. Starting at the left-back position, we obviously had Maitland-Niles. Again, I was really impressed with him. I've been impressed with him throughout the whole competition itself, and during the game I did certainly tweet and I was saying basically he looks comfortable and confident on the ball. He didn't look rushed. He looked very, very reassured. He's showing some sort of maturity to his game from when we obviously started seeing him within the first team. But again, looked very, very reassuring. Talk about Debussy. So Debussy was a player we'd certainly sold. In the summer, we all assumed that he was going to be sold. There were reports surfacing and emerging suggesting that the deal had been done, only for Nice to send him back to England. And I thought personally he was dead and buried. His career was done at Arsenal. But he's come back from the dead. He's actually literally, I'm calling him the Walking Dead. He's a complete zombie, and he's obviously played a number of games in the Europa League, and he's really, really impressed me. He's obviously not taking anything to heart in terms of him being placed on a transfer list and knowing that the club didn't want him, but he's still put in the performances. Today, he's actually been rewarded by a goal. It was a fantastic goal. It was an absolute rocket of a ball, and I haven't seen Bellerin score a goal like that in a very, very long time. It was a weird layoff from Theo Walcott, but it landed perfectly for Debussy. Struck it on his favourite right foot, and he was curling in into the bottom left side of the goal, and it was a fantastic goal in my opinion. And again, his performance was absolutely fantastic in my opinion. He was running up and down. It didn't look like a player who's 30+ years old. He looks very refreshed. So if we do get an injury to Bellerin anytime soon, or when we do get the fixture congestion coming towards the period we are approaching, I'm guessing we're going to see Debussy in the Premier League. But again, I was really impressed. In terms of the two midfielders that we had, obviously Wenger went with the defensive two. That was Coquelin and Elneny. Again, Elneny capped his performance with a brilliant goal. It was a fantastic curler. It was a layoff from Jack Wilshere. We will talk about Jack Wilshere shortly. But it was a fantastic goal. He was running up and down, making sure that his defence was fully covered. Him and Coquelin worked absolutely fantastic in this particular game. But I wasn't expecting anything less. So let's talk about Jack Wilshere. He was playing in an attacking role, I should say, in that midfield area, and he was brilliant. I don't know what the guy needs to do to get a start in the Premier League. I really do not know what he needs to do. The passing was magnificent. He obviously capped the performance with a goal as well, which was a fantastic finish. He hadn't scored for the club for a number of years now, I think. Goes back with Debussy as well. I forgot to mention that he hadn't scored for Arsenal since the 21st of December 2014. And again, I think the same applies for Jack Wilshere. He hadn't scored for a number of years, and he's obviously got his goal. And I don't know, as I said, I don't know what the guy needs to do to be reinstated back into the starting lineup in the Premier League. So again, as I said, obviously with the fixture congestion coming up within this festive period, hopefully we can see him starting in the Premier League. But again, he was magnificent. He was in the middle of everything. He was being fouled quite a lot actually during the whole game, but obviously he didn't take it to heart. He kept playing his normal game. He kept spraying the passes, and he was absolutely dictating the tempo of the game. So in terms of Danny Welbeck, again, Danny Welbeck, in my opinion, this should have been a game where he obviously got himself onto the score sheet. He had a brilliant chance where he was put through from deep, and it was a really good ball. Run onto it. The keeper obviously come out, and I thought at that point he was going to chip the keeper, but he obviously didn't. And there were a number of times, in particular, there's a chance where he was coming off on the right hand side of the pitch. He kept cutting in, trying to go on his left foot, and it seemed as if it wasn't working. And obviously at that opportunity as well, that was certainly closed down. But it obviously doesn't matter. We obviously won 6-0 during the game. So I just basically thought he was a bit wasteful at times. He could have certainly got himself a goal. Up until Oli Giroud got himself a penalty, well, until the penalty was won, it seemed as if he wasn't really in the game. There was not that many chances that were being created for him. He was starting to get a bit frustrated, as you could tell. He was taking shots from miles out. Obviously, he does love a service where he comes in, floats in over the top, and he obviously tucks away the headers, as well as the little interchange and passes in and around the 18-yard box. But it wasn't happening for him today. Of course, he ended up getting onto the score sheet, but again, it was a mixed performance. I think he could have done better personally, but doesn't matter. We talk about the captain, who obviously ended up getting substituted, and that was in the form of Theo Walcott. He obviously bagged himself a goal. He looked sharp, he looked hungry in his game, and he just looked completely busy throughout the whole game. As I said, he bagged himself a goal. He did have a chance before he scored his goal where I thought he was certainly going to be tucking it away, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. But as I said, ended up getting on the score sheet. So overall, I think the team performed absolutely well. It is something that we would have expected, a win of this magnitude. And I think this is our biggest win in the Europa League as a competition itself. So well done to the team. And in terms of Wenger sticking to the B team, I should say, kudos to him as well in terms of actually playing and sticking to this team. It sort of shows our strength and depth now in terms of we can field a team in a European competition. Of course, the opposition wasn't great, but that team will certainly produce, and this team is actually qualified all the way through the group stages. So again, congrats to Mr. Wenger. And in terms of the number of points we've picked up within the group stages, I think we've picked up the most points after Tottenham, who obviously picked 18 in our debut season of the Europa League. So again, another good stat there. So as usual, guys, please do let me know what you think in the comments below. If you are watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. So once again, guys, it's your boy TC from I'm Gonna Talk TV, and I'm out.